A very good morning and welcome wherever you are watching us from. It's time for press review here on Luntha television, a time that we look at some of the stories that are making headlines in daily papers. And for today, you will be with me, King Mage Kamendo, and my colleague.
Alice, she's on there.
How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm fine. So, as usual, we'll be taking you through the Nation newspaper and, of course,
the Daily Times.
So, really first, you may start.
Okay, not to waste much time, on the front page here, headline reads, High Court saves ADMAC. Part of the story reads, the High Court in Lilongwe has dismissed the application for an injunction by businessman Macduff Nyaragwe, trading as Maranje Trading Enterprise, to compel Agricultural Development and Marketing Corporation ADMAC to sell him 2,000 metric tons of maize. ADMAC terminated the contract following a ban on all maize sales from the government when Nyaragwe had paid for 1,134 metric tons and collected 452.47 metric tons of maize, remaining with 681.53 metric tons he had paid for. Nyaragwe asked the court to compel ADMAC to let him collect the 681.53 metric ton he paid for, but it seems as if ADMAC is refusing to release the maize to him.
Yeah, actually, I saw that story some days ago. Yeah, it's all about Zamanamulo. It is the issue is in court. So I just hope that since a court is where we all find justice, the ruling itself, it means it has favored ADMAC. So we hope that Zachitigazo is all about justice itself. Alright, I will be taking a story that is being found on the front page of the Nation newspaper, and this story says Chakwera, others dared on agents should be energy, and the party the story says President Lazarus Chakwera and corporate leadership of state agencies responsible for energy have come under fire for their perceived failure to tackle insufficient electricity generation. In a separate communication, as the Malawians continue to express worsening power should be rationing due to insufficient generation after Tropical Storm Anna damaged the Kapichira hydropower station in January, taking off grid 130 megawatts. Leader of opposition in the parliament, Kondwan Nankuma, and the Consumers Association of Malawi Kama have challenged the leadership to rise to the occasion. Now, it seems like several stakeholders are now coming in, putting their input, saying whatever they want in as far as the Black House is concerned, because now the issue is now getting worse and worse by each passing day. Yeah, zunguoneka ngati kuti makinake even osokule wasiko ino ulijete sitina mveko chanija kuti koni apart from kuti analengeza kuti muna zitha kufika December. Okay, koma nawo sizikuone ngati sogole nene nkhani palibepo yete amalawa mbira kuvutika ati makamba momu. I think it was some days ago when I was even doing the press review Tandiwe kunena kuti Israel kunena kuti sakuziona kuti pala anthu ena kuti akamakhala they rely on electricity. Small businesses, yeah. Barber shops, even welding salons.
Yes. Yeah.
How are they going to survive without electricity? So as ukanga libe kunena kuti pressure ikufunika ndithu kuti ipitebe so that maybe an alternative can be found.
I think some stakeholders are going to you will see my businesses like my big shops you and my fridge my candies my candy deal because my gets is not doing justice to anyone in this country. Command so mina yo sa gonna zuri vura magets lipo jifua yes. They have backup.
Yeah, you know, you can never find blackout at State House.
No, it cannot happen. Even when I'm MP now,
or even in the barracks.
Yes. That's why I think it's a wake up call. I agree with Mr. Dr. Nankuma Menana Zogudi. I want in Rame Menemonega Zogudi, Muzimanga connect markets in Mamizio, Mauledi, Murenga Womeneo, Wits and Chilo Woody Hey, Gugapijira, would you know, Zintuzian baby, Gwenda, Buno, Zugo Mune for the answer, Gonano, Jaliba and Tavi to snatch the Calicari. Okay. Moving on the second page of the Daily Times, the headline reads China placed for writing off Malawi 5.5 billion loan. Part of the story needs several analyses have commended the Chinese government for writing off 5.5 million kwacha of the money that Malawi owes the Asian country. In an interview, Minister of Finance Austin Gwengwe confirmed China's clemency to Malawi. I can confirm that the Malawi government will not pay about 5.5 billion loan we got from China for the Kalonga-Chidiba Road and the Malawi Revenue Authority Scanners project, Gwengwe said. He added that government will use the savings for budgetary support. Okay.
So mwachidule dziko la China likhululukira ngongole about 5.5 billion kwacha ndizabwino atakhaza kuti madonors enanso amene like IMF umu ya owing so much atakhaza kuti abweranso nawo kunena kuti ayi Malawi kangongoleka cha basi musabweze zikhoza kuthandiza ziko ndichifukwa kunena chilungamo we are a very poor country and the economic yathu kwada bwino pasiri bwino so arrest is a welcome development tathokoza kwambiri akula mnaziko la China chifukwa cha kukhala kwathu kuno timati nchitidwe wachifundo umene aonesa apo pati komera mtima ulena kuti ayi you should not give us back the loan because maybe they have just seen how Malawi is struggling currently with its finances and they also know that it will be very difficult for Malawi to pay that loan amounting to 5.5 billion kwacha. So for feeling that one, I think if we just have to say thumbs up to Chinese government.
Comments to our Malawi government, it's high time panova tikamarenga maloniwa. Tizigwiritsa dimina nchiro zoine legas
yes.
Because you see we get a loan and then modi tigwiritsa nchiro when you made that ingela jija.
Tugwisa nchiro zintu zina.
To make a madam and our families, which is not a good development at all. Komano the Malawian government let's learn kuri zintu zitikarenga tizigwiritsa nchiro zoine lega komanso it's us Malawians who tend to pay back malons ngaramene while using our taxpayer money. Then is in zodia yabo machondi ndanzi zanu umeneko ya malona amene akarengedwa tizigwiritsa benchito moyenera.
Okay, now I'll be taking you through another story which is being found on the third page of the Nation newspaper, and this one says Minister calls the refugees to Zareka, and part of the source says Minister of Homeland Security has asked the refugees living outside the Zareka refugees camp in the deep indoor district to voluntarily return to their should be designated place of residence in Malawi. Minister of Homeland Security James Ndeva said this during a press conference she co-hosted with Minister of Information and should be Digitalization Gospel Kazago in Longwe on Wednesday. She said the process has resumed following the lifting of a court order that stopped government from implementing the decision to move the refugees to the camp. So yeah, the issue is here again. Also, I mean, they are refugees, they are asylum seekers, they are being told to voluntarily go back to their designated place, which is the refugee camp located in the district. They should make it some months ago, it should be last year. Actually, the point was that some small scale business operators here in Malawi, they were worried now with refugees kwa binchito zimenezi uwapezena gocha zigege kaya gocha zigege mwina upanga chapati small shops, retail shops ndamona kuti kuna make akutenga zimene zikhozo khala za Malawi yes business nzo akwauza kuti ayabwerere kudzaleka meneko azikapanga muna zawozo oyonsi ndekuti political process azibwerera makwawo. So the issue is here again, anapereka deadline, I think it should be February next year. December and February next year unena kuti by then akazoti abwerera ku Dzaleka refugees camp.
Komano nkhani imene yiso ngakhale tiwatamangisa us as Malawians we are lazy ourselves.
Yes.
But business amene yazathu mabwera nkuyambisa
sitting abangi tikhoza kupanga koma we cannot sustain.
Yes, we cannot sustain them. Even the chapati business.
We cannot do that.
Panova you see mufuzi chapati. Wona zuri ngwenda malo siyana even muchesi mumwe upeza mauti nawa chapati ati. Komano a Malawian like me, I cannot kuti kudzuka tsiku limene unazo.
Jabas ndizikapanga chapati.
No, timazona kuti zinthu ndizolowa pansi. That's why
timafuna tizigulisa njinga za moto.
Yes. ma business orati apadziloza kuti mwaona which zimene zimapangiza kuti muona zoti zinthu sizikutendera malawi muno komanso to talk of them going back. Yes, they're supposed to go back kuti mwina kunoko tinalapatsa ufulu kwambiri. You go Malaysia mukapeza namanga mamashons awo menemo ndi zinthu zokuti ngakhale atili kuti abwerere ndi zinthu bezina zake komano still more ife ya Malawi now this should be a wake up call for us kuti tiyeni tidzuke ma business amene tikuona zokuti awasi tingapange mwina titayamba kumapanga ma business ngati amenewo zitautithandiza singamadandauleso kwambiri.
Komanso the other thing is palena kuti mwina sakupanga small scale business koma mwina ndi mashopu mchesi mulena kuti amagulisa even mipunga whatsoever analemba ntchito a Malawi. Ambiri kwambiri analemba ntchito a Malawi, so I know unena kuti it will affect some Malawians. I remember I interviewed one of the women, a lady nthawi nake oneko wachikuliro kalamba kudandaula kwa msono mukathamangisawa amene mukundionera nemo how am I going to survive, a question which I failed to answer. So ndiona unena kuti in both ways mwina pana khala njira ina than kwathamangisa kama mwina kupanga limit type of businesses iminatho mabanga anthu aja in as far as akhozibina in town kapena ma location mena kukhala.
If I to say the truth, you also the man abweretsa zinthu zina mdziko muno zoti you can compare.
Yes.
Kuti upite pa shop ya Malawi mafuna zivina chinthu double.
Yes.
They will be selling things
on a fair price. Yes. Ndizona. So kuti so tuwaikira kumbuyo kuma iso about now kuti Amalawi ambiri ndi aulesi, Amalawi ambiri situfuna unona kuti tiziyambira apo pakaji ndikakang'ono timafuna zinthu zoti zaoneka kale kutoka pansi ina ayikula kwambiri ndi msanje kuti basi anthu auchoka kandi ku Burundi auchoka kuti kubwera kuno kwaziti shinira ife yeti kuti wafufuza anthu aja upeza kuti anamba kachito kakang'ono kenikeni. We are talking about selling chapati anzatha kuchita bwino kumakhala pano mali pia malentezi akupanga chapati. A Malawian cannot do that. Anzatha jamatha kumagulisa zokumwa zomweza achina mojo achina froze chanchani ndikumapanga survive mtano mnomo ndikumakhala kumalipira malentos. A Malawian cannot sustain that kind of business.
No, never. We are too lazy.
I just hope that pakana khala njira ina kwa ine maganizo anga personal pakana khala njira ina kuti kuna wake kungoona kuti how can we make sure na kuti anzathuwa tukapanga accommodate komanso at the same time maufulu a Malawi ena sakuphwanyidwa mwina zikanakhala zothandiza than kwauza na kuti abwerere kuzaleka. After all, I have been at Zaleka. It's a very congested place. It's a place which cannot accommodate my refugees or submitting now in Ziko. That can never happen. That can never happen.
And then what's the good at Tamagita
team vaso kuti kwabukaso matenda kwa matenda azikhoza affect so kwambiri so zikolino and kutosapire kumeneko kubezekaso naso mwina asakutuluka ndekuti ma location amene andikana kwambiri ndizateka umumva kumina kwatuluka nombava whatsoever nangisambira akauta bezo chita na.
Yes, they will be idle.
Yeah. Okay, maybe you have another story.
Here another story. It's AU who called for swift action on childhood TB. Part of the story is the African Union and the World Health Organization who have called for immediate and comprehensive measures to end the significant toll of tuberculosis among children in Africa. The appeal was made jointly with the Elizabeth Grasser Pediatric AIDS Foundation and the Stop TB Partnership on the sidelines of the 72nd session of the WHO Region Committee for Africa in Luntha. The African region is home to 17 of the 30 countries with the highest tuberculosis burden globally and accounts for around 3,222 children and young adolescents, or a third of TB cases among those under 15 years of age worldwide.
Okay, all right. Quickly, we move on to business pages now. For business stories, I have one here which says LWB hails progress in non-revenue water reduction, and this one says Lilongwe Water Board LWB Chief Executive Officer Sirmbewe says the capital city water utility has made positive progress towards reducing non-revenue water, saving about 1.4 billion kwacha in the process. He made the remarks in Lilongwe on Wednesday during a meeting on non-revenue water production jointly organized by Lilongwe Water Board and Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA.
Okay, here on the business page, the headline reads World Bank tips Malawi on recovery. Part of the story reads the World Bank has urged Malawi to consolidate effort towards addressing challenges facing the economy to hasten the recovery from impacts of the COVID pandemic and global supply chain distribution. The advice is contained in the July 2022 Bridge Path Capital Limited Economic Report. The Bretton Woods institution, as quoted by the portfolio management and advisory firm, recommends hastened sealing of pressure points in the physical space and continued prejudice in public financial management, among other things.
Okay.
Right.
Let me take one more as far as business news is concerned, and this one says mixed views on flexible exchange rate regime. There are mixed reactions to the Reserve Bank of Malawi (RBM) stance to stick to the flexible exchange rate regime. A flexible exchange rate regime allows the currency to freely move in the foreign exchange markets depending on the market forces on demand and supply.
Okay, the last story in the business segment. The headline reads NBM moves to empower SMEs. Part of the story reads National Bank of Malawi (PLC) on Wednesday launched its Downlocal product, which is aimed at empowering small and medium enterprises across the country. NBM Chief Executive Officer Matfusi Kawawa said that the product was put together after understanding the needs of vendors and other small business operators in the country.
Okay, now quickly to us and culture pages. I have a story which says the Chewa groups advised to put aside politics, and the story says historian Dr. Crispin Bande has advised the Chewa cultural groupings in the country to put politics aside and restore their culture. He said this in an interview at the wake of the latest phase incited by Chewa Paramount Chief Luntha, who was ordered to who ordered the dissolution of one of the splitter groups, Bwalo La Chewa. So at least I followed this story a bit. It's like Kulimakamp Chewa heritage. Yes, when the organize kumano wao posta pompa, so kuligulina limene limazichwa unena kuti bwalo la Chewa and the Chewa heritage itself. So it's like kuti kwinaku akupanga zina kwinaku kusapanga zeve feeling kuti abwere pamoza akambirane mwachisanzo kwinaku anasankha green ukhala ambassador wao kwina kwanena zoti feminist kumuziwa and kaglobelo takathesa kasazaonekeso. Yeah, so one of the historian Dr. Crispin Mpanda akwauza na kuti mwina make if it is all about politics, knowing una kuti even the musician itself himself is a politician tag ndu mfandale. Yes, ndiye akwauza kuti zikakhaza ndale mwakuti tazisiyanika pambali mono mwake tabanga ndizoti the grouping should be kind of should be united.
I think ukala ambassador wa Chewa heritage it leads to him because as far as I'm concerned, my mono artist amini amazitsada ndituza Chewa
amina masunga zokuza chikirali Chewa. Yes, it's style. Yes,
yo yana panga ina initially hapo the only things mwezi wana gozodi yayi kuja wangu mina ndinkani mina zandala mazi wa makarankani yandala makawubona kugana mina kubangira mukomano zinthu zabwino yayi kwakha kuti nonseno nditundi mini culture nonse being Chewa. It's high time nakabwira nonse pamozi ngilizano modzi nokhala pamozi kuti yayi kwani zinthu zitiziendera limodzi kuti pazikhala makeo singaramene.
All right. You have your own there.
Yes. Here Leeds weekend of Kiss Daniel Kulamba. Part of the story leads Lilongwe Golf Club will be eventful tomorrow as it hosts Nigerian musician Kiss Daniel of the Buga fame, who is expected to share the stage with 18 local acts. The Nigerian musician, who was embroiled in controversy recently for his no-show in Tanzania before apologizing and later holding a free gig as a compensation, is expected in the country today, according to Epic Group Chief Executive Officer Yolam Kawanga. Everything is set.
Okay, so the show is final here. Finally, we get confirmation that Kiss Daniel is coming. We all know what happened in Tanzania where he was arrested.
Zambia as
Yes,
well.
yeah, where he was arrested. Amagana zovala kuti no, this outfit cannot match me. I cannot put on this outfit and go on stage. Koma tukhulupira now kuti akabwera kwathu kunoko he will behave. Chifukwa kunoko anthu ake ndanjala. All right, now, yeah, at the very back page, we are moving on with now local sports. There is a story here which says Noma's vow to boycott there's a fixture. Mighty Mukuru Wanderers have said they will not fulfill their TNM Super League fixture against Salima Sugar. There's a Dynamos FC this Sunday. In an interview yesterday, Wanderers board secretary Hafiz Mvula said this follows their failure to reach a compromise with the Super League of Malawi Sulomo to call off the match. Now, the story is about Wanderers and Sulomo. Panoba Kulinde where they are fighting, Wanderers and Fulham they are fighting. Anapanga contribute 6 players who will be taking part in tomorrow's Flames game against Mozambique. So Malamula Menazoduka Banga produce more than 3 players ku national team club is Mapastube Masewera. Our contribute 6 players kuma kuwapasa Masewera next Sunday. So it's like kuna team na Malamula jamba kuona Nkope well see mina kutengera kuti poti game of Flames ilongo konkuno ina kudezanda kufuna zola zamaliza azapita huko of which pamalamulo sizimene haso zinde jonjo.
Here on the back page, leads no funds yet for Flames Kosafa chain assignment. Part of the story leads Football Association of Malawi is still waiting for the government to provide funds for national team engagements. The Malawi men's and ladies national team are participating in the 2023 African Nations Championship qualifiers and the 2022 Hollywood Belts Kosafa Women's Championship respectively. Farmless and Trade requested the government through Malawi National Council of Sports for extra funding amounting to 299 million to enable the 2 nation teams to fulfill their respective assignments.
Okay, that is about the Queens, right? Yeah.
Both Flames and the Queens.
Okay, fine, okay, fine. But the Queens, they have a game to later today. I think around 11 o'clock they will be playing in Zimbabwe in the same finals of the World Cup qualifiers, which are currently taking place in South Africa, Pretoria. So we are wishing them all the best. Yesterday they thrashed Zambia, and the day before that I think they also played against was it Mozambique, and they have so far, I can just say they have so far won their 3 consecutive matches. So it's thumbs up to the Queens this time around. There's a story here which says the contractor donates uniform to sports reporters team. Lilongwe based Choice Construction Limited on Wednesday donated a football uniform set worth 400,000 kwaja to Central Region Sports Reporters Socials team. Speaking at the ceremony at Bingu National Stadium, Choice Construction Administrator Esther Lazaro said they decided to bail out the journalists as part of the company's social responsibility. The team's coach and player Blight Bush Kanyama thanked the company for their timely support. So I attended this function actually. Ndizabu ino Choice Construction they saw the need. I pray for this team. Yes, I pray for this team and tinali bedi jeze. Now we have them tumajida kubwereka jeze, but now Choice Construction thought it wise kuti anyamata ino tatenga ni moti ne yanga ulebedo akakuti jeze 10 iliko kumene kuko. So thank you very much Choice Construction. And today afternoon we also have a match imeneka seredwe pa African Bible College. So kwa mile makonda masela mpira atendeka kumano kumeneko Sierra Socials yakali kunye idavala majeza nywani opakita donate ndi a Choice Construction.
And it's a good development. Mina soma company na they can follow suit.
Yeah, sure.
Tima small teams dili mawili degree manja tizipanga support. One day azabimirira.
Definitely, definitely.
Okay, another story here leads the league sponsorship hiked to 3 million. Part of the story, St. Louis High School has hiked the sponsorship for the district football league from 2 million kwacha to 3 million. The school's director, Louis Nsukwa, said they are impressed with the running of the 22-team league, hence the decision to hike the sponsorship. We contented with the way the league is being run. Teams and administrators have been playing their respective roles to our satisfaction, and we thought it right to reward them by increasing sponsorship.
Yeah, that
is
is yes, a good and very welcome development by hiking the price. Sasa nyamata mina matenga na mbali pamaswera amene amudeza rig. Chabuno ndimaliza ndi story ya kunja kamena kuti let me finish with one more story which is an international one. This one says Manchester City Chelsea clash in Carabao, and this one says Manchester City have been drawn to face Chelsea at the Etihad Stadium in the Carabao Cup, and this is one of the several Premier League ties in the third round. Manchester United will be at home against Aston Villa in what is another appealing tie made during Wednesday's evening Carabao Cup draw. Okay. You have one?
Yeah, just let this one. Kobe's widow awarded damages. About the story leads, Kobe Bryant's widow has been awarded 16 million in damages over leaked graphic photos of the helicopter crash that killed the US basketball star and his daughter in 2020. Vanessa Brandt said she had panic attacks after learning images taken by Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputies and firefighters have been shared. A federal jury now said the country must pay Mrs. Brandt for emotional distress. Okay.
Alright, with that, we'll come to the very end of today's program of Press Review here on Luntha Television. Remember, we have just started some of the stories that are appearing in both papers, The Nation and of course the Daily Times. Both papers are going out at 1,000 Malawi kwacha, so maybe you may be interested to have your own copies. Otherwise, it has been a pleasure having you around. I have been Kingmate Kamendo and my colleague.
Continue
enjoying the rest of our programming here on Luntha Television, and it's goodbye for now.